the 2017 Spring Commissioning Ceremony of the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point Army Reserve Officer Training Corps. I am Cadet England, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies. At any point during the ceremony, please feel free to come forward and take pictures. There will also be an opportunity to take photos with the flags in the back of the room following the ceremony. Please rise for the arrival of the officiating party, and please remain standing for the national anthem and invocation. It gives me a great deal of pleasure to introduce you to our officiating party. Chancellor Bernie Patterson, Provost and Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs Greg Summers, Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs Al Thompson, Dean Marty Lloyd. Our guest speaker, First Sergeant Retired Brian Dombeck, Professor of Military Science Lieutenant Colonel Jesse Johnson, and Military Instructor Sergeant First Class John Lewis. Color Guard, post the colors. Cadet Wesley Sleet will now lead us in our invocation.
Please bow your heads with me in prayer. Lord God, we come before you today and are thankful for all you have given us and have blessed us with. We thank you for your guiding hand over UW-Stevens Point Battalion this past year and allowing us to complete each mission successfully, as well as giving us the strength to finish the year strong. Lord, we especially thank you for the amazing friendships and camaraderie that has been formed throughout our time here together. We are grateful for the opportunity to be here with our friends and family and ask for you to bless our time this evening with laughter and good conversation. We pray all this in your holy name. Amen.
The Soldier's Creed.
The Soldier's Creed. I am an American soldier. I am a warrior, member of a team. I serve the people of the United States and live the Army values. I will always place the mission first. I will never accept defeat. I will never quit. I will never leave a fallen comrade. I am disciplined, physically and mentally tough, trained and proficient in my warrior tasks and drills. I will always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself. I am an expert and I am professional. I stand ready to deploy, engage, and destroy the enemies of the United States of America in close combat. I am a guardian of freedom and the American way of life. I am an American soldier.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to the Professor of Military Sciences, Lieutenant Colonel Jesse Johnson.
Thank you, Cadet England. Well, it's great to see such a tremendous turnout for this special event tonight. Thank you all for being here and for your continued support of our ROTC program here at Stevens Point. I would especially like to thank Chancellor Patterson for your continued support of this program and these cadets. The University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point has a strong reputation as one of the best host universities in Cadet Command. There are nearly 1,000 universities across the country that produce over 70% of the Army officers each year. To put that in perspective, in 2017 alone, there were approximately 29,000 cadets enrolled in our ROTC throughout the country. None of this is possible without the support of the universities. We wouldn't be able to do what we do here without the strong relationship and support Chancellor Patterson and your administration provides us. Thank you. The ROTC program here at Stevens Point was established in 1968 under the leadership of Lieutenant Colonel Jack Mowry, the first professor of military science. That inaugural year, Point Battalion enrolled 250 freshmen into its first semester on campus. To put that in perspective, that was 26% of all incoming Point freshmen that year, well over the national average of 10%. Now, although we no longer recruit or enroll 250 freshmen these days, the Point Battalion continues to positively impact the success of the United States Army by providing competent leaders for active duty, National Guard, and Reserve forces who have served in every conflict since 1968. In total, the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point has commissioned 531 second lieutenants, including the 7 here before you tonight. Due to this success, the Stevens Point program extended westward. In 2005, establishing partner programs at the Universities of Wisconsin, River Falls, Stout, and Eau Claire. Now, I can tell you with certainty there's not a better job in the Army than being an ROTC professor of military science, my current job. Teaching, training, and mentoring future Army officers is a passion of mine and of our cadre and our entire staff. There are few missions as important as developing adaptive, agile, and innovative leaders of character and competency for America's Army. The Army's future is sitting on the stage and among you. America's sons and daughters who have chosen to serve are a national treasure, and we owe it to their families to produce the very best officers charged with their welfare. If you don't know, I will tell you, our selection process to the program is very deliberate. We select only the best. And these soon-to-be officers are among the best, I assure you. But it takes talent to make the talent. The cadre here are highly decorated and experienced, having proven themselves on battlefield, leading from the front. And they all assure me that these 7 leaders before you tonight are ready to answer the call, whatever or whenever that call may be. They have worked hard to get to this stage tonight. The Point Battalion is a cadet-run organization, led and operated by the cadets themselves. Each year in the program, increased responsibility is given to cadets to challenge, develop, and to test them. They have balanced academics, leadership responsibilities, early morning PT, weekend training exercises, National Guard duty for many, athletics, and everything else a college student juggle daily. They have learned how to not only manage but to excel in this environment, and it will serve them well in their future endeavors. Making their own sacrifices along the way, I'm sure, in doing so. They have earned the rank they're about to wear, and I have full confidence that they will continue to make us all proud. Today we welcome them to our profession of arms, a proud and honorable profession that each of them will master and steward as leaders in the most battle-hardened and experienced Army in the world. Again, thank you all for being here, for the continued support of the university leadership, faculty and staff, the continued support of the community, and the continued support of family and friends of the Pointer Battalion. It now gives me great pleasure to have the honor of introducing tonight's guest speaker. First Sergeant retired Brian Dombeck is no stranger to leadership. Having served 20 years as an infantryman on active duty in leadership positions from team leader to first sergeant and all in between, he is also no stranger to ROTC, having been an ROTC military science instructor at Indiana University before he retired in 2004. He has served in Panama with the 187th and the 508th Infantry Airborne, the 82nd Airborne Division at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, the 101st Airborne Division at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, the 507th Infantry Airborne at the U.S. Army Airborne and Pathfinder Schools, the Sinai Peninsula, and as a recruiter in Illinois. He has earned numerous awards and decorations to include the Meritorious Service Medal, the Army Commendation Medal, Expert Infantryman Badge, the Gold Recruiter Badge, Pathfinder Badge, Air Assault Badge, Master Parachutist Badge, Panama Jungle Badge, and the Ranger Tab. Since retiring, First Sergeant Dombeck has worked in manufacturing, warehousing, and distribution, serving in various leadership and management positions. He and his wife Jody reside in Stevens Point. They have two children, Katie, a freshman here at UWSP, and Ryan, a senior at UWSP, who's up in the stage to be commissioned tonight. So it's pretty neat to have First Sergeant Dombeck here. Please join me in giving him a warm welcome to the stage.
Colonel Johnson, distinguished guests, family and friends, and soon-to-be officers. It's an honor to be here at this commissioning ceremony tonight, and I'm going to piggyback on to what Colonel Johnson already talked about for a few minutes and talk about how special this ceremony is. There's 273 parent ROTC programs out there in the United States and about 1,100 partnership and satellite programs. And we talked about that there's 29,000 cadets enrolled in all those programs. And the training and selection process that leaders go through today is intense, and not everybody who applies earns a commission. Some people dip their toes in the water and decide leadership's not their thing. And for some people, the program decides that maybe they're not the right fit either. But back in the fall of 2013, there were 103 students enrolled here at UWSP in the ROTC program. And 7 of that class are going to commission tonight, and 3 more will commission in December. And so not only are we commissioning the 7 newest lieutenants in the Army, but the 7 newest leaders in the armed forces. That's a pretty big deal. Former Secretary of State Colin Powell is a product of ROTC, and so was Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart. So who knows who we're really pinning bars on tonight. Now, at these types of ceremonies, this is when they bring an old retired guy off the shelf, and they say, hey, will you stand up here and share some words of wisdom with us? And that's my job, and that's what I'm going to try to do. And you know, a couple months ago, when I found out I was going to be here tonight, I reached into the closet and pulled out my uniform. And I had hung it up back in May of 2004 when I retired. And I thought, well, it's time to get this thing ready. So I pulled it out and put it on, and I realized that it had been hanging there for 13 years and it had shrunk 3 or 4 sizes. So, thankfully, Fort McCoy is nearby, and I was able to get over there, and they took good care of me to square me away for tonight. But I always said when I hung it up, I would only bring it out on a special occasion, and this fits the bill. So I'm happy to be here. So you all who are commissioning tonight have a competitive advantage on your peers. Not only has the university prepared you for whatever your field of study is going to be, but they've also developed you in an area that's much needed both in the civilian and military world, and that's leadership and its people skills. And take it from a guy who's been on both sides of the fence. Having the ability to lead is going to open a lot of doors for you. There's no switch that we're going to flip that's going to make you a great leader. It takes experience, wins, losses, It takes commitment, and it's a hard job. And by definition, when you commission a boat, think about this, you're putting it into service. And in the manufacturing world, when you commission a piece of equipment or a process, you're making sure it's going to do what it's supposed to do. And when you commission a person, you're giving them great authority. And tonight you're going to take that oath and you're going to pin on those bars, and when you step in front of your department or platoon or branch or whatever it is you take charge of, you're going to be the person there with the most authority and the most responsibility and the least experience. So let me share a few things with you that might help you navigate your way as you begin that leadership journey. You've got to build trust and you've got to earn respect, and those are both two-way streets. Get to know your people, learn about their backgrounds and their families and their interests and what makes them tick. Being able to understand those things are going to help you relate with them on a personal level, and it's important that you're able to do that because it'll make for great communication between you. Be a positive role model. Do what you say you'll do. Be on time all the time. If you're on time some of the time, they'll be on time some of the time. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing some of the time, then so will they. So do it all the time. Become technically and tactically proficient. It's okay to not know all the answers when you walk in the door, but it's not okay to stay that way. Always develop and learn new things. Ask subject matter experts questions and listen to what they tell you. Consult your peers. Read a book or two a month. I recommend 2 readings for you. The first is The Speed of Trust by Stephen Covey, and the second one is Developing the Leader Within You by John Maxwell. Both good reads, both civilian books, but you'll get enough of the military stuff. Develop your team, encourage them to grow, get them training, give them feedback on their performance, and ask for feedback on your performance. That will show them you want to develop too. Give timely evaluations, and generally people want to do well. You just have to explain to them what well is, and they'll go out there and do it for you. Make failures about processes, not people. Turn process failures into opportunities to improve, but make successes about people. Recognize people in front of their peers and give your team credit for success, but you stand up and take the blame for failure. The last thing, keep your moral compass calibrated. Don't do anything illegal, immoral, unethical, or that puts people in harm's way for no good reason. And don't put your team in any of those situations either. Do what's right always. UWSP was established in 1894. I'm going to piggyback again on some of the Colonel's comments, but back in 1894, UWSP was established as a teacher's college. And since then, it's grown to have over 120 undergraduate programs, 48 majors, and 78 minors. This year, UWSP was ranked as one of the top 10 regional public universities by U.S. News and World Report. And that doesn't happen by chance. It takes visionary leadership, and it takes commitment and dedication of a faculty and staff to build that kind of longevity and those credentials. And he talked a little bit about the cadre and staff of the Army ROTC program. They've got a combined total of 70 years with ROTC and 73 years of military experience. So they're not new to this stuff. In 2015, the program was awarded the MacArthur Award, which is awarded to the top battalion in each of the brigades in ROTC. So think back to that 273 parent programs. That's a big deal. The cadets in the program have planned and participated in raising over $16,000 for the Alex Reeder Memorial Scholarship Fund. They've contributed to the community by doing roadside cleanup, participating with the Boy Scouts and flag awareness events, and they've done team building events with local schools. And they've traveled and trained abroad in China, Liberia, Australia, Korea, Germany, Poland, the Czech Republic, and some other places. So you all come from a program that's packed with credentials. You've been trained, you've been evaluated, assessed, and you've been given the seal of approval by this university and by this leadership program, and you're ready. Leave here today confident that you'll succeed and never forget where you came from. I'm going to leave you with a quote that a sergeant major that I worked with said when he was speaking to a group. And this sergeant major was kind of a big deal too. He was the sergeant major of the 75th Ranger Regiment. He went on to be the United States Army Special Operations Command Sergeant Major, and that's the umbrella that the Special Forces and Rangers and SEALs and everybody fall under. And then he went on to be the International Stabilization and Assistance Force Sergeant Major in Afghanistan, working alongside General McChrystal. But at one point, he was speaking to a group of people, and it was about leadership. And he said this. He said, leadership is a 24-hour-a-day job, and it's not meant to be easy. And that's why we must choose leaders carefully. You've been chosen. So thank you for signing up for the hard job, and congratulations on completing the program. Best of luck to you in all you do, and thank you for making me part of this day.
On behalf of the Pointer Battalion, I would like to present First Sergeant Retired Dombeck a small token of appreciation for sharing his knowledge and experiences with us today. In just a few moments, the commissionees will take the oath of office and transition from cadet to second lieutenant. First, let us reflect as we listen to the words of solemn obligation that each officer accepts as it contained in the commissioning certificate. The President of the United States of America. To all who shall see these presents, greeting. Know ye that reposing special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of the commissionees, I do appoint them second lieutenants in the United States Army, to rank as such from the 19th day of May 2017. These officers will therefore carefully and diligently discharge the duties of the office to which appointed by doing and performing all manner of things thereunto belonging. And I do strictly charge and require those officers and other personnel of lesser rank to render such obedience as is due an officer of their grade and position. And these officers are to observe and follow such orders and directions from time to time as may be given by the President of the United States of America or other superior officers acting in accordance with the laws of the United States of America. This commissioning is to continue in force during the pleasure of the President of the United States of America, under the provisions of those public laws relating to officers of the armed forces of the United States of America and the component thereof in which this appointment is made. Done at the city of Washington, this 19th day of May, in the year of the Lord, the 2017, and the independence of the United States of America, the 241st year, by the President. The commissionees will now receive the oath of office. Please feel free to move to take photos in a quiet manner. Swearing in Cadet Dombeck will be Major Retired Chip Byron.
Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation, or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully execute the duties of the office in which I am about to perform, so help me God. So help me God.
Swearing in Cadet Rilee Newell will be Second Lieutenant Mary Workman. Swearing in Cadet Jacob Scheffler will be Major Bradley Allen.
I, Jacob Ronald Scheffler,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same,
to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Swearing in cadets Corey Boville, Connor Intress, Juan Patino-Tamayo, and Wesley Titus will be Lieutenant Colonel Jesse Johnson.
Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Corey Patino-Tamayo,
Having been appointed an officer in the Army of the United States
having been appointed an officer in the United States
at the grade of second lieutenant,
at the grade of second lieutenant,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
upon the office for which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Representing the Wisconsin Army National Guard and Brigadier General Mark Anderson is Lieutenant Colonel Raymond Ripberger. Lieutenant Colonel Ripberger will now swear in the Wisconsin Army National Guard lieutenants.
I state your name.
I, Jacob Ronald Scheffler,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support, defend
to support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic.
foreign and domestic,
To bear true faith and allegiance
and bear true faith and allegiance
to the same.
to the same,
To obey the orders
and obey the orders
of the office of the President of the United States
of the office of the President of the United States
and the Governor of Wisconsin.
and the Governor of Wisconsin.
I take this obligation freely
I take this obligation freely
without mental reservation
without mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion,
And I will well and faithfully
and I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of Second Lieutenant
of the office of Second Lieutenant
in the Wisconsin Army National Guard,
in the Wisconsin Army National Guard,
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
We will now begin an individual presentation of our new lieutenants. Family members, please feel free to move forward for photos as you see your new lieutenant take the stage. During this portion of the ceremony, the new lieutenants will receive their gold bars. The gold bars of the second lieutenant are a physical symbol that these men and women are worthy to call themselves commissioned officers in the United States Army. Once the new lieutenant has received their bars, they will receive their first salute. The silver dollar salute is a tradition in the United States Army that newly commissioned second lieutenants present a silver dollar to the first enlisted soldier who salutes them. The coin symbolically acknowledges the receipt of respect due to the new rank and position. Lieutenant Corey Boville. Lieutenant Corey Boville graduates with a Bachelor of Science in Dietetics. Lieutenant Boville is commissioning into the Tennessee Army National Guard Finance Corps. Lieutenant Boville is attached to the 1130th Financial Management Detachment. Affixing Lieutenant Boville's bars are his mother, Air Force Staff Sergeant Retired Linda, and brothers Austin and Tanner Boville. Lieutenant Boville will receive his first salute from his father, Air Force Staff Sergeant Retired Joseph Boville. Lieutenant Ryan Dombeck. Lieutenant Ryan Dombeck graduates with a Bachelor of Science in Sociology. Lieutenant Dombeck is commissioning regular Army into field artillery with duty in Vicenza, Italy. Affixing Lieutenant Dombeck's bars are his aunt Lorraine Farley and sister Allison Dombeck. Lieutenant Dombeck will receive his first salute from his father and our guest speaker, First Sergeant Retired Brian Dombeck. Lieutenant Connor Intress. Lieutenant Connor Intress graduates with a Bachelor of Science in both Public Administration and Policy and History. Lieutenant Intress is commissioning into the Wisconsin Army National Guard Engineer Corps. Lieutenant Intress will be attached to the 829th Engineer Company in Spooner, Wisconsin. Affixing Lieutenant Intress's bars are his mother Kristen Intress and stepfather Patrick Steffen. Lieutenant Intress will receive his first salute from his father, British Army Corporal Retired Graham Haig. Lieutenant Rilee Newell. Lieutenant Rilee Newell graduates with a Bachelor of Arts in Sociology with an emphasis in deviance and social control, with minors in peace studies and criminal justice. Lieutenant Newell is commissioning into the Wisconsin Army National Guard Ordnance Corps. Lieutenant Newell has been attached to Echo Company, FSC, in the 132nd Brigade Support Battalion located in Antigo, Wisconsin. Affixing Lieutenant Newell's bars are her mother Kelly, father Pat, and brother Jesse. Lieutenant Newell will receive her first salute from her grandfather, Marine Private First Class Retired Lloyd Dellis. Lieutenant Juan Patino-Tamayo. Lieutenant Juan Patino-Tamayo graduates with a Bachelor of Science in Psychology. Lieutenant Patino-Tamayo is commissioning regular Army into the Engineer Corps. Lieutenant Patino-Tamayo will be stationed at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. Affixing Lieutenant Patino-Tamayo's bars are his mother Concepcion, father Shane Peebles, and girlfriend Grace Talbot. Lieutenant Patino-Tamayo will receive his first salute from Sergeant Ryan Larson. Lieutenant Jacob Scheffler. Lieutenant Jacob Scheffler graduates with a Bachelor of Arts in Communication with an emphasis in interpersonal and organizational communication. Lieutenant Scheffler is commissioning into the Wisconsin Army National Guard Signal Corps. Lieutenant Scheffler is attached to Charlie Company 173rd Brigade Support Battalion in Camp Douglas, Wisconsin. Affixing Lieutenant Scheffler's bars are his mother Tracy and father Ron Scheffler. Lieutenant Scheffler will receive his first salute from Airman First Class Retired Robert Dombeck. Lieutenant Wesley Titus. Lieutenant Wesley Titus graduates with a Bachelor of Science in Health Promotion and Wellness. Lieutenant Titus is commissioning into the Wisconsin Army National Guard into the Field Artillery. Lieutenant Titus is attached to Headquarters Battery 120th Field Artillery, Detachment 3 in Clintonville, Wisconsin. Affixing Lieutenant Titus's bars are his fiancée, Desiree Keel. Lieutenant Titus will receive his first salute from Sergeant First Class Retired Rod Yonder. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give the Army's newest second lieutenants a round of applause. Please remain standing for benediction, the playing of the Army song, and the departure of the officiating party.
Please bow your heads with me in prayer. Gracious Father, thank you for this evening and for those who put in the time and effort to make it all possible. As we leave here, may you continue to guide us and mold us into the respectful leaders you would have us be. Inspire us in all that we do and help us to hold fast that which is good. Lord, we ask for your protection and that you would be with us now. Grant us safe travels from here, and as we go out, it is our prayer that you would receive the glory from our actions. Thank you for your blessings upon us. In your name we pray. Amen.
Who have fought to victory.
retrieve the colors. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the ceremony. Please follow the officiating party in congratulating the Army's newest second lieutenants. I also invite you to join us in the back of the room for reception and refreshments. Thank you for attending today's ceremony.